Hi everyone, this is Jenny again, and today we have a special guest, my really dear friend Julyssa.
Hi.
And so I've kind of vaguely talked about this, specifically like sororities and fraternities, and I wasn't one, like I didn't do it in undergrad, but I know you did, so I wanted to bring an expert to talk about it.
I don't know how much of an expert I am, but sure.
So I actually wanted to ask you a couple questions about it, and then like kind of if somebody say we're trying to figure out somebody's starting to go into school, should they get into a fraternity, should they not? What are the benefits? What are the cons? And your personal experience on it.
Okay.
So tell me about yourself. So obviously, what do you do? What do you do now?
So let's start there. So I'm currently a therapist, and I'm a full-time student, and I do podcasts on the side. So I do a lot of stuff. I am a therapist for the county. I work with incarcerated youth, and that's pretty much my whole livelihood right now. And I'm currently in a PhD program at Claremont Graduate University, where I'm studying to work in schools and work in urban communities. So that's what I'm doing. And then on the side, I just have podcasts talking about being a first-generation student, and also just being a Latina in this community, and doing a podcast with my sister where we have different special guests like yourself talking about different topics.
Okay. Exciting.
Yeah.
And so how is the fraternity or the sorority that you were involved? Are you still part of it now?
Yes. So essentially for us, it's like once you join, you're there for life, unless you give up your letters, which people have. But it's something that I'll go out to events as an alum, like, if there's any of our brothers and sisters who want information about the school social work or being in a PhD program or the workforce, I'm there to be able to provide them any information if they're if they reach out. I'm not as involved as other alumni are, so I do know a lot of my fraternity brothers and sisters who are taking leadership roles in our alumni chapters, who are taking leadership roles in what's called like the national chapter, where they take care of all the different chapters for the undergrads and the alumni. So there are people who are really involved and are just like, this is what we want, and gearing into the future to be able to provide support to all of our like upcoming individuals or all of our like undergrad students.
Okay, so you would say there's still a network behind being part of a fraternity, sorority.
Oh, absolutely.
Even after you graduate.
Absolutely. I'm in touch with people. I have like my pledge brother, who he's a person I went through just joined the fraternity with, and he's like written letters of recommendations for me and has been there for me and just given me just a few like just tips about life. He's older, he has a family, and I have like another fraternity sister who just guides me and is just, we just stay up to date, go have lunch, go have dinner. So we definitely have a different network talking about being a professional and how different that is, and being a student. Like, okay, we never thought this would happen. Life happens.
It does. And so how did you know you wanted to join a fraternity, sorority, and like how do you know the difference? Like, why are you in a fraternity? Isn't that just for boys?
So great question. So I'm in a unique position where I'm in a co-ed fraternity. So I purposely chose a co-ed fraternity, and there's a few social ones, which is the one I'm in, which is a social, and there's also many more that are more professional ones, which are geared to professions. So originally I did not want to be in a fraternity.
Why? What were the thoughts behind that? Why didn't you? And then why did you?
Okay, so my thought process was like, I don't want to pay for friends. Duh, right?
Valid.
I don't want to pay for friends. I'm just here to come to school and get out. Like, this is not part of my journey. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to be partying all the time. Like, that was just my thought process. So my fraternity big sister, we were in a class together, and we met her, and she's like, I'm doing this really cool thing. Like, there's a lot of people who are just supportive and are helping me get through my stuff. And being a first gen, I had no idea what being in a college was. And then I was in a university that was predominantly Caucasian, and I couldn't fit in. I couldn't find my people. I was falling into depression. I was failing out of school. Like, there were so many things. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let me just do this. Let me go test it out, see what that looks like. And I went and I asked questions, but one main thing that I was always told was like, be free to shop around and see what different fraternities and sororities have to offer. Mm-hmm. And ours was the only co-ed fraternity. So for me, I was like, you know, I need that balance, because the reality is we're in a world where we're going to be working with both, not just one, just not with women. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't click with the other sororities that were there. So I went ahead and, you know, asked them about, you know, what are the pillars that you guys have? What is your mission? What do you do for fun? Like, how do you help me graduate? Because that's my goal. And just having all that information, just knowing they do community service, it's about brotherhood and sisterhood. It's about academics and being a family and being able to just support each other to move forward. That was really intriguing for me. And so I went ahead and went through a process, a 10-week educational process, and was a sister of this fraternity. So to me, it was just a lot of information based off of that helped me make that choice. And I shopped around. I asked questions.
Good.
and I wasn't afraid.
I think that's what everybody should do. They should shop around. Like,
absolutely.
You're paying for this service. And that's how I think about it. Like, maybe it's maybe like superficial, but you're paying for a service. You need to like what you're buying.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. It's one of those where ask questions. Don't be afraid of ask questions. And if people can't give you answers and you're getting a vibe that's not positive, move along.
Yeah.
You're not committed to it. When you're looking for a fraternity or sorority, see what the tables have to offer. See what the ambience is, what the vibe. They put together like social events for you to be able to get to know the brothers and sisters, or if you're doing strictly a sorority, like the sorority sisters, or strictly a fraternity, the fraternity brothers, and get to mingle and ask those questions and see what their life is like. Alumni come. So it's an interesting process, because you're going to need to want to fit in. You're going to want to be around people who are going to help you and elevate you, not people who are just going to hold you back. And that's my thing. I was like, and I was 18 at the time. So I was still, you're still at that phase of you're trying to find your place. You're trying to find your identity, who you are. You're outside of school. You're outside of your family. And you're trying to find that autonomy in a place that's strange. So it really helped just navigate that. And, there were a lot of bumps on the road, but but it helped.
Yeah.
It really helped.
So what would you say, you're telling all the good stuff, which is amazing, but what would be some of the not cons? So good stuff about being in a fraternity sorority, or things you wish you knew before you went in?
Okay.
Because you didn't anticipate this happening.
Well, I'll start off with my family.
Uh-huh.
So having to explain the concept of a fraternity to a family, a very traditional Latino family, was really hard, because they're like, you have your sister here. You don't need any brothers and sisters. They're not blood. Like, and it's a culture, and they're like, oh, you're in a cult. Right? Having to explain that and having to reach out to people, be like, hey, can you explain what this is? Because I'm getting some flack from it.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, especially because I'm really close to my family. It was one of those like, oh damn, how do I help this? Like, how do I navigate this? And two, like, if you don't have the right time management, I know a lot of people in different fraternities and sororities that went on academic probation or were kicked out because they didn't manage your time right, or they just spent their time partying, and that can impact you. Like, you need to have a goal. If you fall into that track and fall into that life, it's not going to look good. It really isn't. And make sure you know who that network is, because there were a lot of people I met who actually went through that. So that's a really downside, because you go to college and then you end up becoming an alcoholic, or just end up in a party, or just end up in a really bad car accident or of some sort, or you don't have that orientation. It can really just deter you from your goals.
Yeah. So you have to prioritize everything.
Absolutely. Prioritize time management.
Yeah. And those are all the good skills that you will learn in college, but it's just, sometimes it's a problem for a few people. And that's where
it's not. Yeah. And also, it teaches you a lot about how to deal with people with different personalities, because reality is, when you're in that stage of life, there's gonna be a lot of drama. And that right? And a lot of people get so wrapped up in that, where you burn bridges and you just like have conflict, and that can be a pro and it can be a con. Like, there's it can be a double-edged sword, because people don't know how to navigate different systems. So learning that is so important, I think, especially at that age, because when you go into the workforce, there's going to be a lot of people you won't be able to get along with, and it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a struggle. Anything else?
I think that's it. Do you think anything would be like word of wisdom kind of thing for any of the people that are watching? Like, if they're thinking of doing sorority or fraternity, what's the words that you would say right before going in?
Go in with an open mind. Remember that this is your journey, and you're gonna be the one that's gonna make the best of it. If you don't put your whole heart in it and you don't put your time in it the way you want it, it's not going to be a positive experience. This is what you make out of it, not anything else. Because my journey is very different to my counterpart's journey. And take advantage of the services that are available to you. You know, communities are hard to find, and as people, we thrive. Many of us thrive in communities. So just make sure to go somewhere where you know you'll be elevated and you're gonna grow as a person, and you'll have the support that'll get you there. Because in college you go through a lot of stuff that you probably never imagined, and that's what's gonna get you there.
Right,
So.
right. I like it. Oh my God, you're making me want to join one now.
It's a little late for you.
I know you did it, but now I want to. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. If you have any comments for her, you can put them down in the description below. Please subscribe, like, and share. Bye.